Hello, Facebook fam out there. This is Tahir Johnson, Business Development Manager and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Manager here at NCIA. And today I have my good friend Kevin Ford from Uplift, Maryland, the CEO of Uplift. He's a member of NCIA and he's joining us to hang out this morning. Kev, what's up, brother?
What's up? I appreciate you having me on today.
Of course, man. Of course, it's great to have you on. Here, one of this is our new morning weekly Facebook Live show that we're doing. So one of the things that I want to do is highlight NCIA members and some of the work that they're doing out here in the community. And also other people in the community that are doing good work around diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it's great to have you on as one of the first people I'm talking to. So just to get started, tell the for people that don't know, tell us a little bit about Uplift and some of your history and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started Uplift in August of 2018. It's actually a funny story. I come from a medical family, so both my parents are doctors. So I've kind of known how, the back office stuff works for doctor's offices. So what I did was I reached out to the company that I got my medical cannabis patient certification from. And I said, hey, if I was to refer you a couple patients a month, would you be able to send me a referral fee? And they said, well, if you send me 100 patients, then we'll send you a referral fee. So at that point, the light bulb clicked and I said, hey, I need to start my own business because if I'm sending anybody 100 patients a month, it needs to be myself. So that experience and really coupled with my experience with the county government here in Prince George's County, Maryland, doing supplier development and diversity and procurement, I applied for a grant from the Maryland Medical Cannabis Commission to develop and implement an education and business development training program for minorities and women who were looking to apply for either grower or processors last year in 2019. And then we also just won another contract to develop the curriculum for Maryland's dispensary agent training program as well. So we've been very focused on the education and training front since then, and definitely want to shout out NCIA for you all's support during our Uplift Cannabis Diversity Symposium that we had last month at the beginning of June, where we really kind of pushed professionals and entrepreneurs to take the skills and knowledge that they already have in the current industry that they're working in and transfer those skills into the cannabis industry. So again, definitely thank you to NCIA for your support on that venture.
Yes, thank you. And I'm glad that you mentioned the symposium. That was one of the dopest opportunities or conferences that I had the opportunity to be part of. And it's, especially just to see so many people of color with that much expertise to come through and drop all those gems. Could you talk a little bit more about the symposium? What were some of the moments that you were most proud of? And, tell us a little bit more about what the symposium was about.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, even coupling with what I said first with our education business development training program, we were able to train in between 8 to 10% of the total applicants in Maryland. But unfortunately, nobody won. And we're talking about, people putting ample amounts of resources, time into trying to get a license and came up empty handed. So, my thing was, hey, if you're willing to put all that time and resources behind that venture at that point in time, you should still want to transfer whatever you can into the cannabis industry so you can possibly make some of that up on the back end. So that's why we started this symposium, was to truly, assist professionals in transferring their current skills into the cannabis industry for either professional services or ancillary businesses. We were able to have a little bit over 70 speakers, and we also had almost 500 attendees for the event as well. So it was definitely successful. And I would say some of the key moments, I think, was even our fireside chat with Jason White, who's the CMO of Cureleaf, as well as Dia Sims, who is the past president of Combs Enterprises for Diddy, and also just jumped into the cannabis industry herself with a branding company. So, we were, I guess, very humbled to have, some C-level positions as well as different advocates and entrepreneurs. Two other conversations that were great were our dispensary conversation, where we had Hope Wiseman, Dr. Macias, Tucky Blunt, as well as Shayun on there to really talk about, their experience in being Black licensees on the dispensary level and what that's looked like for them, the challenges that came about, and especially talking about COVID-19 and the challenges of theft that a lot of these dispensaries have faced. And there was some very touching conversation around that. I think another great conversation was also actually the panel that you moderated, which was the truth about licensing, where we really talked about, a lot of the barriers that folks who look like us really face in trying to jump into this industry from a licensing standpoint. And, a lot of that conversation also came out of the importance of these ancillary businesses, and not just the plant touching, but those who are actually supporting those who have these licenses. So it was great conversation all the way around. I could probably talk for about an hour and a half about some of the good conversations that were held. And one thing I think that was really cool as well, we were able to do a virtual grower facility tour that seemed to be well received by the participants as well. And I would say lastly would be the networking function that we had through the Hopin platform, which allowed almost like a speed dating type of format for people to go and meet other attendees of the event. And we have a small window in between 30 seconds to 3 minutes to formulate a conversation and to connect with each other from that point and move forward.
Right. Well, yeah, the conference was definitely dope. And talking about the networking, like I said, I networked with somebody all the way from the UK. So that was definitely tight. And, I want to ask something a little bit more about something you talked about. And I think it is important to recognize that, of course, there's the opportunity for, there's a huge opportunity for people of color in the cannabis industry, and that need for support for licensees and trying to increase equity and make sure more people of color get opportunities to be in the business. And I know that's something that you focused on, but
Absolutely.
you also talked about ancillary businesses and the importance of getting involved there. What do you think are some ways that people that can transition their existing skills, to transition into the cannabis industry? When people come to you and, ask how can they get in the industry, what do you think is some of the best advice you can give them?
So, I mean, just from personal experience here on the ground in Prince George's County, we're a very affluent African American county. We have a lot of professionals who maybe have federal or state government experience, or might even just be on the private side, whether they're accountants or HR professionals, consultants, uh, marketing and branding consultants. There's really a place for all of these types of services within the cannabis industry. And I think one of the major mistakes that our community tends to make is looking at cannabis as a commodity versus an industry, where there's many facets that folks can actually get involved.
Right. And yeah, and so to talk about the other side of that, just to let everybody watching know. So here at NCIA last week, we actually announced our social equity scholarship program. And under that program, any social equity licensees or applicants anywhere in the country are eligible for a free membership here at NCIA, full access to the organization, and all the benefits that come with it, and ability to really be able to network and try to level up your business. Kev, could you talk about, what do you see the value of, I think a lot of the things you talked about really closely align with what NCIA's mission are, with our being advocacy, community, and education. Could you talk about the importance of, what you've found important as a member and the value of community in cannabis?
Yeah, and I think it was funny. I was at MJ Biz in Vegas, and I ran into Dr. Macias, and she said, "You know what, Kev? Like, I like what you're doing, but you need to be more involved. You need to go out and join these different organizations, try to get on these different committees, and really have your voice heard." And I think that was the true charge that I needed to go and jump in and get. Uh, 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 will become a member of multiple organizations. And I think what I've seen from NCIA thus far is the fact that you all were very openly willing to support, our effort as a sponsoring member, And that's what you want out of memberships, because oftentimes people join these organizations and never see the benefits of being a member of that organization. So I really want to say that I want to say thank you to you, because I think you were able to really push me in the right direction, possibly, of what the options could be. And I think that that's what a lot of people don't understand, is like what those options are that you could use if you are a member. So I think it's truly important for, you know, the business development team over there to continue to just push people in the right direction of the different options that are involved of membership.
Right, for sure. And, you know, I appreciate that. That's definitely something I'm focused on. And I have to say, since you mentioned Dr. Shonda, big shout out to her and what they're doing at Southern University. Dr. Shonda, and they are the first HBCU, and they're going to have the THC products that they're going to have for sale. So big shout out to her from DC, Howard, my fellow Howard alum and former professor. You know, Kev, that was a good point. Could you talk about some other, you know, organizations in cannabis that you think are important that to support? You know, I think it's always important, like we talked about, unity for people to understand and know, you know, some of the other places and that they can join in other organizations that I'll say these are the types of people that I'm looking to partner with in the future.
Absolutely. So MCBA, Minority Cannabis Business Association, Minorities for Medical Marijuana. I mean, those are the three that I stay more so abreast of the information on. But there are other organizations that, whether it's ASA or normal, even, you know, I think that they're all great organizations to, you know, really get involved with, just so you have your ear to the pulse, you know, because you really want to know what's going on in the industry. And that's one thing I'll say about just being a member of these organizations, is they give out great information. If you want to, you know, be a subject matter expert in your field, at least among your community, you need to stay abreast of everything that's going on, because the cannabis industry is definitely changing every day like no other.
That it is. And as we talk about change, you know, what's next for Uplift? What do you have going on? And, you know, what do you think we should look out for in the cannabis industry?
So I think we're just trying to figure out how we can position ourselves as like a community for African Americans, whether you are a patient or an entrepreneur or advocate. You know, we want to make a safe space where everybody can collectively push out information to the community. Like, we have prided ourselves here in Maryland on being like a one-stop shop for information. And I think as we continue to move to the future, we're really looking to be more so a one-stop shop for Black folks who are interested in the industry. So, you know, providing them with the information they need, so they don't have to go to all these different conferences and say, okay, yeah, I need to join this, I need to join this. Like, no, you just need to go to Uplift, and this is what you need to do to get yourself more involved and to have the resources that you're really looking for to get your questions answered in the best and most efficient manner possible.
For sure, bro. Well, it's a great mission. I love what you're doing, you know, helping to try to make sure that we can help to encourage and uplift more of our people to get into the industry. It's always good chatting with you, man. Looking forward to
Always. Yes, indeed.
All right, bro.
All right, we'll talk.
I need y'all to understand that being here for all Black people, Black Lives Matter means every single Black life matters.